Good evening.
Hi,
I'm Betty.
who am I?
Did you forget?
I'm Mark.
And we are
The
the pastors too. I guess he forgot who he was. I don't know. So, yeah. Does he have ADHD? Or is it
No.
dementia setting in? Okay, well,
We'll
we should
find
have
out.
some fun tonight.
We'll find out.
Welcome to all of you that are joining us, and be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and
Share.
share. Yeah, share it with other people. Hit that share button and share it out on Facebook, YouTube.
Let's see, Instagram, WhatsApp, what else?
Any social media that you're on, whatever you're on, just share it. That helps the algorithms, that helps us get noticed. And of course, we've only been back at this. This is our second week back now. And it's a little little strange, and YouTube isn't quite recognizing us yet, I don't think. And they kind of are, but kind of aren't. So we just, I don't know. Anyway, so hopefully you all can hear us. I didn't double check that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about checking, but I don't have
You don't have it?
I don't have the notification on my phone that we're live.
Well, I had it pulled up here. So
Yeah, you had the music playing, so.
Let me see.
Okay,
Yep,
yeah.
we are, yeah.
You can hear us.
You should be able to hear us. So, okay, well, and our cameras are working tonight. We've checked them both. I had a little problem with my built-in camera last night when I was in class, and it wasn't working, and I still haven't figured that out. I haven't had a chance to really troubleshoot it and see. So, but we use other cameras for this, and they are working, so... yeah, so...
Okay, I still have my bandage.
Yeah, he does.
I found out today I'm going to have to wear it for 5 weeks until my next appointment.
When is your appointment?
The 23rd of next month.
So, yeah, I was thinking around Christmas time.
Change it every day, keep it moist. They don't want any kind of scab to develop on there.
So maybe if you're lucky...
Maybe by Christmas.
You'll get it off for Christmas.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see is right, because who knows? I mean, it doesn't look very pretty. Okay?
No,
it doesn't. And if you have a squeamish stomach, you don't want to see it. So anyway, I help him change his bandage, but it's...
so you get to look at it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to look at it and make sure that the dressing is put in the right place, because he has a tendency to miss. And so
I'm seeing some slight improvement on the healing.
Yeah, so
slight.
But yeah,
okay.
he has a tendency to miss, and so I have to reposition it or something. So I just take over and just put it on there, and I don't look at it any longer than I absolutely have to, because it's awful.
A woman of many coats. Or a woman of many colors, I guess. That's one of your jobs now as a nurse. You're my nurse.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not a very good nurse.
And I'm your nurse.
Yes. Now, you make a good nurse. You do. So, anyhow, what are we talking about tonight?
Well, do I have or do I not have?
Yeah.
That is the question.
Do you have ADHD
Or do I
or
not?
or do you have dementia
have?
or something else? Oh goodness. Okay. Yeah. So we've mentioned. I think we mentioned last week that you had. We've been wondering.
We've been curious for some time now.
Yeah.
And I have taken some online tests, which sometimes, I guess we're in this camera,
Yeah.
sometimes it said that I did, sometimes it said I didn't. So that was not definitive. We still
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah. And I mean, usually I can tell. I mean, I've done a lot of studies since my diagnosis. I've done a deep, deep dive into ADHD, especially in adults. It manifests differently in adults than it does in children. Most of the criteria were developed based on little boys. That's why little girls are often missed in the diagnosis. And so it's kind of it's a challenge. It really is.
And that's really what led you into this, partly.
What do you mean?
Is, well,
I'm not following you.
into this Inspired Shepherd, the coaching and all that you've gotten involved in, because part of it has to do with ADHD and how you can help people with ADHD to work through different, things in their life.
Right, right. And especially people in the church, in ministry, because,
right.
I mean, we've seen it, we've experienced it, because we've both been pastors, hence the name The Pastors Too. And we are retired as pastors. Actually, it came from you, because you wanted a license plate saying Pastors Too on it.
I did say that. Yeah.
You wanted a personalized plate. Never have gotten it.
Nope.
I guess you could still do it.
Well, yeah, we'd have to put it on the front of the van or on the back of the new car, because the back of the van has the handicap tag.
Right. So, oh well, whatever. I don't care.
That's a good idea, though. Put it on the front.
So, anyway. Yeah.
So, we finally got to the point where...
well, first, before we go any further, drop...
Yeah,
what?
Put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat or in the comments somewhere whether you think Mark has ADHD or not. Just use your best guess. Do you think he does? Do you think he doesn't? Are some of the things we've been seeing, are they from something else? Let's talk a little bit about that.
The dementia? Is that for something else?
Well, it could be. You never know.
Okay.
Well, earlier in our marriage, there were things like we'd be getting ready for a trip. Like we're getting ready for a trip right now. Okay. And invariably, we'd get on the road and I'd say, "Oh man, I forgot such and such." And he'd say, "I got it." I was like, "You what?" He had a knack for knowing what I needed and knowing that I didn't have it. I don't know how he managed that, but he knew I didn't have it. And so he was always right there doing things for me. Over the years, though, that kind of slid and it hasn't been as frequent. There was one time, Susie, if you're watching, you may remember this. We came over and picked you up. On the way over, I realized I didn't have my scooter charger. We were going to the lake. I didn't have my scooter charger. I didn't have my medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was a third thing that I didn't have. Totally forgot. 3 things that I needed for the weekend. and, but we didn't really have time to come back home and pick it up. So we went on and decided we'd manage okay without it. And that was when my scooter, when the battery really
was going
yeah,
down.
the battery really went dead on that one.
Yeah, trying to go around the store at Belk in Sherman, and it would, yeah. That's about the only time you used it that weekend because.
Well, we actually left it in the van because anyway, that's off topic. That's off topic.
My only time to mess up.
Your only time to mess up? Only time?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Anyway, so there were things like that, though, that made me doubt that he did have it. But there were other things like, do you see what he's doing right now? Do you see this? I don't even know what it is. It's a golf tee. Okay. He's fidgeting. He does this all the time. He has some fidget toys. He has, he brought it. He's got a fidget spinner. And what's the other thing you got over there? If I go into his office, it's not unusual for him to have like the fidget spinner or like the golf tee or something in his hands, playing with it. Now, this is another thing. Back when we were first married, he'd put his arm around me and he'd start messing with my shoulder. He would. Only he'd usually put it all the way around me and he'd be messing with the other shoulder. But anyway, drove me absolutely bonkers. I finally broke him of it. So he quit doing that. But that, really drove me crazy. So there were things on both sides that we went back and forth. And let's see, what are some of the other things? Some symptoms of ADHD that can interfere with daily functioning in adults. These symptoms can lead to things like difficulty paying attention and getting distracted. So, do you experience that?
Do I get distracted? Sometimes I do. Paying attention, if I'm not really interested in what I'm doing, then I could get distracted, or I won't be paying as much of attention as what I should.
Or when I say something to you, it's like he totally. Sometimes he hears me and sometimes he doesn't. Well, a lot of times he doesn't.
I have a little bit of hearing loss too, so. That's a good excuse, isn't it?
No. This was happening before you had the hearing loss. Okay, so that's one check mark in the yes column, I guess. Okay, disorganization and procrastination. Now that depends.
I said a while ago that I am not disorganized.
And
she takes a look at my desk and
I said, yeah, looking at your office.
I know where everything is. I can pinpoint it and find it whenever I need it.
But it's a disaster.
Well, you know what they say. A clean desk is a sign of a sick mind.
Okay. So which column does that go in?
That is in the middle column.
The middle.
Yeah.
Could go either way.
Yes, no, maybe.
Okay. Let's see. Well, you mentioned procrastination. Turn that thing off. You mentioned procrastination. So what about that?
there may be some things that I need to do, and I put them off
Yeah.
because I don't really want to do them, or I want to do something
Like
else,
housework?
or housework. Me?
He's the one that does most of the housework because of my physical limitations. So, I mean, what can I say? He does. So, anyway, I'm trying to do more these days. I really am.
You're doing better.
So,
You are doing more.
um,
So,
so procrastination, that could be an indication. So
disorganization is a question mark. Procrastination would be in the
yes column. Okay. All right. Poor time management, planning, organization.
And that goes back to the disorganization, doesn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm
yeah.
usually pretty well organized.
And again, that's where I was like, "Are you kidding me?" But now time management, he seems to be pretty good with time management. I'm lousy with it, and actually, we're going to be talking about that next week. Or no, not next week. Next week is Thanksgiving. We will have a special next week, but in 2 weeks we'll be talking about time management. We're gonna get back to talking about the executive functions, which is kind of what we're talking about here. This is kind of like an overview, but we're going to talk about executive functions and time management, time blindness. I am very time blind.
Yeah, a good example is, when we need to go somewhere, for example, church, and I'm ready 10 minutes early, 15 minutes early. And
Yeah, he always walks out the door in plenty of time. He knows how long it's going to take to get there. Wherever we're going, he knows how long it'll take to get there. He knows what time we need to leave. And me, I'm usually about 10 minutes
10
late.
minutes later, we're leaving.
You'd think after all these years we would have figured out a way to, some kind of a system. But I'm onto him whenever he tells me that we need to leave 10 minutes earlier, because I know what he's doing.
So time management is a no.
Yeah, so that's in the no column. So we got 2 yeses and a no and
And
maybe.
a couple of maybes, yeah.
Yeah. Planning?
Okay. Planning.
Yeah, what about planning?
For example, these trips that we take, I know ahead of time what we're going to do, just like what you said. I know how long it'll take to get there, and I have hotel reservations all made. I have an idea of what we want to do when we get there. So
This is true.
I
Very
would
true.
say that planning is a no.
I would say so too. I mean, when it comes to a trip, a lot of times I turn it over to him. You take care of it. You figure it out. You make the hotel reservations. You just plan it.
There's probably more, but that's a good example.
Yeah. So, okay. Trouble remembering daily tasks.
When I get up in the morning, I have a certain set of things that I do, mostly on the computer. I look at email, I look at notifications, I look at this and that. I've got a website that I track a lot of headlines for a number of media sites. I go through that. So I have a specific time or a method of operation in the mornings. Make my coffee, then I take the dog out, and then I go to my computer and do these things. So, where were we?
Daily tasks.
Daily tasks.
Remembering daily tasks.
Yeah, and then sometime between 8 and 8:15, I'll head for work.
Okay. So, I guess that's a no.
I would say no.
Okay. So we're kind of split down the middle still.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's see. Frequently losing things or being forgetful in activities.
I forgot.
Oh, I don't know.
That's a hard one.
I don't see that in you that much. The forgetfulness. Not on an ongoing basis. Now, everybody has these things once in a
Yeah,
while.
sure.
You know?
I do too.
But but if you've got ADHD, it happens often enough that it can really interfere with your life. Okay? I was listening to Cass from Clutterbug today. That's a podcast that I listen to on YouTube. And she had an ADHD coach on, and they were discussing things like this. And that was one of the things they talked about, was that the difference between, where's the line? Because everybody, you'll hear people say everybody's a little bit ADHD. Well, yes and no. I mean, not really. Because there is a point at which it interferes with your life. And that was what led me to realize that I had ADHD. It was interfering with my life, with my business. And I didn't know it. I didn't have any idea. So, but I don't see that so much with you.
Not really. Okay.
We could go back to the procrastination. You may not want to do it, and so you procrastinate, but remembering isn't the issue.
No, it's not.
So, okay.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, frequently losing things or being forgetful in activities. We did that.
We did that one.
We did that one.
Okay, frequently interrupting others and being very talkative. I am not talkative.
No, he's not talkative, but he does interrupt me.
When I'm, talking, or when I'm doing email or whatever, I come right to the point. I say what I need to say, and I don't go into a lot of details.
Yep. He drives me crazy with that. He like he goes to the doctor and he comes home and he gives me the very short version.
But I don't interrupt.
But you do interrupt.
I did just then.
Yes, you did.
Intentional.
I know it was an intentional thing. But he's always finishing my questions. I'll start to ask a question and he tries to finish it, but he doesn't always get it right. So, okay, we need to move on.
Yeah. So
trouble,
that's a split.
Yeah, that one's a split, I guess. Okay. Trouble focusing on a large task or multitasking.
I have, there have been times in my career where I've had several things that I've got to do all at once, and keeping track of it and keeping up with, when I need to do this and that. I don't usually have a problem in multitasking. Focusing, if it's something that I enjoy doing or want to do, then I don't have a trouble focusing. But if it's, a mundane something, or going back to the procrastination, if I don't want to do it, then focusing then might be a problem. Is that a good explanation?
I guess.
Okay.
Let's see, what else have we got here?
Sitting still for a long period of time, and often moving or fidgeting. I don't fidget.
Yeah, he doesn't fidget. I've got something more to say about that in a minute here. But we'll move on. Feelings of restlessness and a need for constant activity or stimulation. That's kind of more internal.
Oh, okay.
Isn't it?
It could be. But my mind is constantly moving, and speaking of internal, it's jumping from one subject to the next, or one thing to the next, and I repeat a lot of things. For example, a line to a song, or make up my own line to a song, and I keep repeating it over and over and over until I stop myself. Um, Restlessness, I'm always moving my fingers or my feet or something, so that probably would be a yes.
Okay. I've lost track. I don't know where we're at.
Oh,
I don't know if we have more in the yes column or if it's still an even split.
it's an even, it's pretty even.
Which you can understand why we've been wondering. We haven't been able to figure it out. Okay, here's one more.
Okay, choosing immediate rewards over future rewards or consequences. You remember the Heinz ketchup commercial?
Which one?
Good things come to those who wait.
Yeah, well, that's neither of us.
Okay.
We both have a tendency to be impulsive. And so, and we do things at the last minute. we make impulsive decisions at the last minute.
And that
So
goes
anyway.
way back for me too, even in college. You know, let's go get something to eat. So we'd all get up and go, and yeah.
Okay.
Then I come back and do my homework.
So what do y'all think? Does he have ADHD or does he not? I think it's time to let him know. He did get an evaluation.
I went to a psychologist. I got an evaluation. I went through a bank of tests, cognitive, mental, putting blocks together in certain orders, doing math, a lot of things. See how far you can go in a limited amount of time. And then interviews with the psychologist and explaining and talking about some of these things that why I feel like that I might have ADHD. So
I remember one thing they said.
What?
That you fidgeted the whole time.
They did say that. Yeah. They did. So
and
anyway.
here before we get there, here's something that here's something funny that happened when he was scheduled to get the results.
Oh.
And so I went with him. And we showed up. The appointment was at what, 9:30 or something like that?
The appointment was at 9 o'clock.
No,
We
you
showed
said
up at 9:30.
You said the appointment was at 9:30. That's what he had on the calendar. So we showed up at 9:30, and we actually were a few minutes late, I think, even then, which was probably my fault. We showed up and I'm moving slower these days than I used to. So we got there, and the psychologist wouldn't see him because the appointment was actually at 9 o'clock.
Okay, here's the background to that. I was originally scheduled for a day during the first week of the month, which my work schedule, that's the busiest time of the month. And so I try not to schedule anything during that time. Well, they had scheduled me during that time, and so I had to call back and reschedule for the next week. So I went into my phone, looked at the schedule. I changed the date to the next week, but I forgot to change the time from 9 o'clock from 9:30 to 9 o'clock.
And we walked out still not knowing.
Right.
And I said, that is one of the most ADHD things you could have done. He finally did. He kept after him. They were supposed to be uploading the report, and
a week later I called them, and they had it uploaded immediately after I called.
And the results?
The result is drum roll, I do have ADHD.
Yes, he has ADHD. There's 3 types.
I have a specific diagnosis.
Yep. There's 3 types. There's inattentive, hyperactive impulsive, and combined type. And they've determined that he has combined type. I don't even have that. I'm pretty sure mine is combined type, but I don't actually have that the psychologist that I went to was, he didn't even really want to give me a diagnosis, but
Yeah,
he
after I
did.
explained a few things about you, told him all about you, he said, "Well, I guess we can say you have a relative
Yeah,
ADHD
let's not even
diagnosis."
go there.
So anyway, yeah.
But my doctor uh, told me that she would try me on medication, and if it worked and I wasn't all hyper and high or whatever, or if I was able to accomplish the tasks that I needed to accomplish, and this was something that Cass and her friend were talking about today, that getting medication can be a really definitive way of knowing whether you've got ADHD or not. Because um, if you do have it, it's actually going to slow your brain down and help you to focus. It's crazy. And we're talking stimulant medications here, like Ritalin or other things like that. And for me, it was not Ritalin, it was another medication. But oh my goodness, when I first went on it, now I'm not medicated because I had side effects that I couldn't handle. But when I first tried it, it was amazing. But then I kept falling asleep. Everything makes me fall asleep. Okay.
Originally, there were people that were asking, what is different about you? You're doing so much better. You're more.
Yeah, I had some friends that knew.
They knew something was.
Yeah, and that one friend in particular asked if I was on medication, and I told her, yeah, I was. So
I have not talked to my doctor about this. I don't even know if they've got the report. So maybe I should upload it. So I'm not medicated. I'm not
at
sure
least
if
not yet.
I'm not sure if I want to be, but we'll talk about that down the road.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of times for those of us that are older and get diagnosed, in our later years, going on medication may or may not be helpful. Because we've developed coping skills. My problem was there were some areas where I had not developed coping skills. But I can recognize now that those areas are not where I need to be trying to, build a business or whatever. So that brings me back to the coaching. I feel like God called me to coaching. And so I'm in my last class for my certification. I've completed all the ADHD classes, but I'm in the last one for ICF, which is the International Coach Federation, something like that. I'm in the very last one, and we're halfway through on that, which is where I was when all the stuff happened with my hip, and I had surgery, and I had to call my instructor and who is the CEO of the school, and I said, I can't finish right now. I'm going to have to put this all on hold. And so everything got put on hold. But I am back to coaching. I'm back in classes. Like I said, I finished up the ADHD class that I was just getting ready to start and had to set aside. And this class I was halfway through. So from now on, everything that we have in this class is going to be new material for me. But I am coaching again. I've got some clients. I can use some more. I have a certain number of hours I have to get in. And so if you need some coaching, hit me up. And whether it's ADHD or just general life coaching, just let me know. And so, anyway,
All right.
I guess that's about it. I don't know what else.
Looking ahead,
Yes.
we're leaving tomorrow.
Yes, we are going on a little trip, leaving tomorrow. Um,
I don't have everything planned, I have planned what we want to do, but it's not taking up all day every day and go from one place to another. It's more of a we'll do one or two things, but rest as well.
yeah, he's got it scheduled so that
It's not as
we
busy
have
as what I would usually do.
so that I'm not worn out from it. Okay, so which incidentally, my doctor did make some adjustments just yesterday in my dosage of my medication, and so I'm hoping that will help. I'm doing pretty good today, so.
So we're going down to the Dallas area, and maybe on Monday make a trip to Waco to Magnolia.
Yeah, the Magnolia Market. I
We've
think
heard
it's
a
called.
lot about it, and so we're going to check it out. We'll be back Tuesday afternoon, late afternoon.
Okay, so that's our story.
And we're sticking
And
to
we're
it.
sticking to it.
Okay, Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Yes, next Thursday is Thanksgiving. We're planning a special podcast for that day. Special Thanksgiving podcast. We at this point we're not planning to do it live. However, you never know. That could change. But we're not planning to do it live, but it'll be like a premiere or whatever. It'll play at that time. And hopefully that depends on how quickly I can get things edited. But we may show you a few highlights from our trip. I don't know. We're talking about it. We'll see how that goes. And anything else?
I don't think of anything else.
Remember to like,
Share,
and subscribe. And y'all have a great weekend and a great Thanksgiving. And we will see you same time next week. All right?
but not live. And
No, probably not.
We'll see you live in 2 weeks.
We may change that, but anyway.
Okay.
Okay. So, thanks for watching. What are you doing? You think you're Spock or something?
You know what that means? Live long and prosper.
Okay, whatever. All right. See y'all later.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.